Okay, there is a new design trend that is predicted to explode in 2025 that you probably have not heard of yet, but just wait. That trend is called Castlecore, and I'm already starting to see it in the print-on-demand world. According to Pinterest 2025 Trends Report, medieval is having a major moment. In 25, Gen Z and millennials will take home decor inspiration from ancient castles, while fashion accessories will be Gothic inspired. Here you can see some of the trending search terms on Pinterest, like castle house plans up 45% and medieval core up 110%. Here's what came up when I searched Castlecore on Pinterest. It's definitely a darker vibe with a lot of kind of dark, deep forest green, dark reds, and gold. The way I would describe Castlecore is think Harry Potter meets Game of Thrones meets cottagecore. Blend that all together with your niche and you have a Castlecore inspired design. So now that you have more of an idea of what Castlecore is, let's take a look at the product research, and then I'm gonna walk you through a full tutorial on how to capitalize on this trend. If you're new to my channel, hey, I'm Adrian. I post videos on how to build profitable businesses with Shopify and print on demand. My goal is to create the most positive and supportive community of print on demand sellers here on YouTube. So if that's you, make sure you join us by hitting that subscribe button and interacting in the comments. There is no gatekeeping here, and you always have a seat at this table. I hopped into Etsy to conduct some product research, and here we can see that there are currently almost 2,000 monthly searches for the term medieval just on Etsy, signaling pretty strong demand, and which I expect to continue trending upward throughout the year. Let's go ahead and run that search. And next, what I want to do is I want to filter by best sellers. So I'm going to tap all filters, select physical items, so we only see physical products. Go to star seller, run that search, and then in the URL, we're gonna change the word star to best, and that's gonna filter these products by best seller, since Etsy no longer offers that as an option in the filters. But this little hack allows us to still filter by best seller. When we run this search, we can get an idea of some of the best selling products and designs. So here you can see jewelry, you can see apparel, you can see blankets, you can see wall art. There's all sorts of products that this is currently already popular and trending on. Let's run the search for medieval shirt and see what's selling in apparel. Here we can see some of the best selling shirts right now, like this one, Born to Jest, Forced to Joust. We've got another one of a knight riding a cat. Let's use Everbee to check out some of these product analytics. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sort by monthly revenue. Here we can see the estimated monthly revenue of some of these shirts, but also worth noting is if you check out the listing age, notice that most of these are new within about the last 6 months or so. That's a really good indicator when trend spotting. Let's check out this Knight Cat Rider vintage t-shirt, which is only 2 months old. Here we can see that this shirt has the bestseller badge. It's in over 20 carts. And let's go ahead and check out the reviews. I always like to sort by most recent, and here we can see that there are a number of very recent reviews. When I analyze the listing using Everbee, we can see the estimated monthly revenue is around $2,800, and this is a very new listing. By the way, every tool that I'm using in this video, I've included my affiliate links below with any free trials, discounts, or special offers. Thank you in advance for using any of these links. They support me as a creator at no extra cost to you and allow me to create more free content like this. So now that we know what Castlecore is, and we've seen validation that some of these designs are selling well, let's create a retro style t-shirt for this design trend. First, I'm gonna hop into Printify. I'm gonna tap the catalog option on the left, and then I'm gonna go looking for t-shirts, and I specifically wanna use the Comfort Colors 1717 t-shirt because it's got that retro vintage vibe. From here, you can let Printify automatically select your production partner. I personally like to choose manually, mainly for consistency's sake, and one of my favorite production partners is SwiftPod. From the editor here, we're gonna grab these print area size dimensions, which are 4200 by 4800 pixels, and we're gonna take those over to Kittl. Step 2, I'm gonna hop into Kittl. I've selected templates, and I'm gonna select the t-shirt templates. I'm gonna run a search for the word medieval, and this is gonna pull up a bunch of professional pre-made design templates that we can use for our design. You could also search terms like dragon, castles, or Gothic, but these designs here seem very Castlecore. As you can see, there are a lot of great templates to choose from, but I'm gonna go ahead and select this one here. Step 3, once you've selected a design template, just tap the file name in the top left, and this is gonna allow us to change the artboard size dimensions so it's the exact recommended print dimensions from Printify. Let's just go ahead and recenter the design here. And now's the fun part where you would make this original for your niche. I'm gonna go ahead and create a design for the mom niche. The first thing I'm gonna do is make this entire design a solid black just so it really pops. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and change out what this says. So let's get rid of that. change this here, get rid of all of these elements in the bottom except for this line here. And I want to stretch this across the entire bottom so that the whole design is really symmetrical. So I'm just going to line this up with the design. I'm going to bring this over and then I'm just going to stretch this until it lines up with the other side. Now, I don't know if you caught this or not, but there's kind of like this gap here when I remove some of the text. That's actually a different element. So what you can do for this design graphic is just right click and then tap ungroup here. And then I can take that element and I can delete it so that it's no longer obstructing any of the design. I don't know if you can tell or not, but there's actually a texture over this entire design. So if you click the file name again in the top left, over on the right side, in the lower right side, you'll see the texture here. If you did want to get rid of the texture, you could just tap this remove texture button. I'm actually going to keep the texture on because I think it looks really good and it works really well with that vintage retro aesthetic. Lastly, I'm just going to resize this entire design to stretch it so it takes up more of the canvas. So I'm just going to stretch it from each corner and then I can center it. When you're happy with your design, just tap the export button in the top right. And from here, there are a couple important things. We're going to save it as a PNG with a transparent background. And we're gonna change the DPI to 300. Once that's all set, just tap export to download this design onto your desktop. Shout out to Kittl for sponsoring this video. Kittl is hands down one of my favorite design tools and you can try it for free by clicking the link below. Also, if you wanna upgrade to a paid plan, make sure you use the code AdrianYT for 25% off. Back in Printify, I'm gonna go ahead and select the color options for the shirt. You can just tap the editor tool in the top right, tap select variants, and then here you have a number of different colors to choose from. This design, being a solid black design, is gonna look really good on a lot of the lighter colored shirts. The color I actually had in mind when I was creating it was ivory. This color just looks very vintage and it's super trendy right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna select that color here. You can add more colors if you want. I personally really like to keep my colors to a minimum, usually 1 to 3 colors, to avoid my customers getting decision fatigue. Also, if a design does perform really well, then I'll reward it by putting it on more colors like on-trend colors, seasonal colors, holiday colors, etc. Next, I'm just gonna drag the design onto the mockup. From here, you can just tap on the design and here you can resize it or you can move it around. And then when you're happy with the size and placement, I would just tap the preview button in the top right. This will give us a more realistic view of what the design will look like on a product. And here we can also select other mockups to see what it would look like on a human. If you're not happy with the size of the placement, you can always just tap the edit button here. And then this will just allow you to go back, resize, and move the image around. Let's go ahead and tap the preview again to see how it looks. That looks good. I really like how that looks. So when you are happy, just go ahead and tap the Save Product button in the bottom right. This will take you to the mockup library where you can see all the different mockups provided by Printify or upload your own. On the left, I can see the different options, and on the right side, I can see the mockups that have been selected. Now, this design was specifically created for mothers, and I see that there's some male mockups here. So I'm gonna change those out with female mockups. Just tap the X in the right-hand corner to add the images that you want to the selected mockups. Just tap on it. So I'll just tap this one here, and then from the other color option, I'll just go ahead and select the same ones. Once you're happy with your mockup selection, just tap the Save Selection button in the bottom right. This will take you to the product details page. So you're gonna wanna go ahead, complete all the product details, and then just tap the Publish button in the bottom right to have Printify automatically publish this to your Shopify store or whichever platform you're selling on. I really think this design trend could work well with so many different niches. Some that immediately come to mind are history, fantasy, book lover, Christian, feminism, the list goes on. But I wanna hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments what you think of the Castlecore trend and whether this is a design style that you're gonna be trying in your print-on-demand shop this year. Also, I've created a bunch of free resources which you can find below, including my new free 60-minute on-demand training where I reveal the exact strategy I use to generate multiple millions in revenue across 2 apparel brands using Shopify and print on demand.